Hey guys, my name's Randy. I'm here with a product that's designed to save your Multipro Tailgate from damage. Right now I'm calling it the Multipro Tailgate Saver. What we have in the package that you'll receive in the mail is the sensor, a ring that is designed to go on your hitch pin, and a couple of wire clamps. We'll go ahead and walk on over here and show you a couple basic tools. You'll need some wire cutters. This is for demonstration purposes. We'll need a pair of pliers to clamp the hose clamps. You will need to provide an alcohol pad or alcohol. We got a razor to cut some tape off, tape to replace the tape, and a couple of zip ties. So we'll go ahead and open the package up and show you what we're doing. All right, so we got the sensor. We'll start by grabbing our razor blade and coming over here to the truck. Underneath the truck on the driver's side of the vehicle, underneath the bumper, is a multi-pin plug here. What you'll need to start by doing, and it's going to be hard to see on the video, is there's a red clip up top that you'll need to snap up. You will push a clip there, move that lever down, and pull your plug out. You got the plug here. I have gone ahead and made it available for me to pop the black cover off to show you what wire we're working with. It is the yellow wire that's in that harness. It's the only yellow wire. What we got here on the side opposite of your plug, it's going to be this yellow wire here. It is the only solid yellow wire in the harness. You do have a yellow wire with a black tracer and a yellow wire with a navy blue tracer that you will not be using. So our next step here, and this might take a second, so be very careful when you're cutting it to not cut any wires, but you want to cut this black tape off to gain access. So give me just a second, I'm going to go ahead and cut it off. It helps to have a real sharp knife or a razor blade. Just remember, don't go real deep in there. Okay, we got the wire pulled back. I'm gonna go ahead and put the plastic cap back on. If you're doing this at home, you will not need to remove this plastic cap. This is for demonstration purposes only. What you should have is going to be this setup here with the wires, okay? So you're going to come in and find your yellow only wire. Make sure that you're not cutting one with a tracer. So those two have tracers. This is going to be my wire here, okay? I'm going to go ahead and grab my wire ties, separate it out so I don't lose it. And simply just snip that wire in half there. The next step of this video is going to be coming around here to the side. You're going to grab your sensor, have your alcohol, whatever may need to clean it. And we're going to go ahead and clean the receiver hitch to make sure it's free of any dust or debris. I've done this in advance so I don't have to wait for the alcohol to dry, but you're gonna clean that completely. All right, now that I've got it wiped down and cleaned and dry, I'm going to go ahead and run my wires. There is a spot up here that you go ahead and run these over the hitch. You can reach your hand up behind there and pull it up, okay? So we're running up between the bumper and the hitch and up and over, okay? We're gonna go ahead and leave that hanging right there. The next step's gonna be to come over here and grab our two connectors. These are crimp connectors that are fairly simple to use. They've got dielectric grease to keep any weather out, corrosion, things like that. They're real simple to use. You will need your pliers, okay? So on the Multipro Tailgate Saver, you have two wires. there doesn't matter which one you connect. I've put them in there yellow to match your yellow wire in your plug. Okay, we're gonna start by sticking one wire into the connector there. We're gonna come up here and stick the second wire into the connector there. Kind of hold them up inside. You're gonna use your pliers and simply press down on the blue portion of this connector. Okay, simply press down on the blue, well, get them to stay in place. And it's gonna crimp those into place to connect those wires. You'll give it a little tug to make sure it's tight. Next, we're gonna do that with the second one. Again, we're gonna stick our wire in, stick our wire in here. Hold the connector so we can make sure all the wires go in good. It would help to have an extra hand, but unfortunately, we don't. And the next step is going to go to and crimp that down. Again, give it a little tug, make sure they're in there tight and connected, okay? If you would like, you can go ahead and pull that down and rewrap it with electrical tape to give it a little bit of extra protection, as well as keep your wires tied up nice and tight, okay? Next step from here is going to be to come up here and re-plug the plug in to the tailgate. Clip that plug down, or the latch down, make sure that it clips tight, and then push your red lock back down. And now you're back into the factory condition as far as your plug being in. If we look down here, we still haven't connected our sensor, which is our next step, okay? What you have here is gonna be just a standard hitch pin. Should work with any normal 5/8 hitch pin. And then our magnetic piece for the sensor to activate the sensor. It's got a magnet on this side. You want to make sure that magnet is facing towards where it locks. What that does is it just helps assist the pin to stay fully engaged with the hitch itself. And then you have the magnets that actually activate the switch here on top. It will be a little tight initially putting it on the first time, but you just want to go ahead and slide that on. Make sure it's turned in a direction that you can fully insert your pin into the hitch. If you have it down, it may not want to fully activate. There's a lot of different styles of hitch pins, so just make sure that you can fully slide your pin in all the way. The next step here is going to be to take your sensor. It comes with a 3M adhesive tape on the back side. Remember, we've already cleaned our hitch, so try to keep it clean. If you live in cold climates, you may use a hair dryer or a heat gun to help heat that up so that the 3M tape sticks well. It does, I believe the requirements is between 60 and 80 degrees for it to adhere the best. So we've removed our backing to the tape. We want to go ahead and pull our sensor up here, have our hitch pin in, and we want our magnets on top, on the flat portion, to engage with this flat portion of the sensor, okay? And that's what's gonna deactivate the switch. And we're gonna come over here and we can set it on the flat portion. You may have a little bit of an air gap. You want it as close as possible. And then go ahead and stick it on, okay? And that's gonna keep your hitch pin from turning. Push it on there, make sure it adheres good. And then that keeps our hitch pin from turning. What we can do now, since we know it fits, is go ahead and turn our hitch pin in a position that helps it stay. At this point, the Multipro Hitch Saver is actually working. Our tailgate is deactivated, so it's something that's nice. And then from this point, it'll be a matter of just getting some zip ties or electrical tape and coming through and dealing with your wire management, which is what I'm going to do right now. On the back side here, we can go ahead and just pull our wire tight. There's some factory wires back here that we can zip tie to keep everything high and tight. And I did remove the spare tire on my truck for this install video. It's not required. It's mainly just so that we can see and video this and get good access to everything. Go ahead and snip the excess of the zip ties off. And at this point, we have our Multipro hitch saver installed. And I will go ahead and release my truck down and where I can reach the button and show you how it works. All right, we got the truck lowered now. As you know, we've got our hitch pin here, the magnetic sensor. We've got it out of the truck. You'll notice that the Multipro is working as it should. When you take your sensor here, go ahead and put the tailgate back up. We'll take our sensor, our magnet, excuse me, insert it back in where the magnet is in contact with your sensor, and you'll notice that nothing is happening right now, and it's because that the magnets are deactivating that switch. You can go ahead and utilize your regular tailgate as you would. And we can come back, pull our pin, and again, we have our Multipro tailgate that's working. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm here to help any way I can. I appreciate your business and hope that you enjoy the product. Thank you. Something I just thought about, guys, is that if you choose to keep your pin in your receiver hitch with my product, you do have that option to where you can still utilize your tailgate. You simply pull your pin out, you'll come in and insert it in the opposite direction. That's going to allow it to still function because your magnets are not deactivating your Multipro tailgate. Something I forgot to mention a minute ago, so I wanted to add it. Thank you.